What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Well, in today's video, we're actually going to get the gas tank and the gauges installed on the Sportster, and I may even try to crank it up just to kind of see what the gauges look like. Like all of my mechanic videos, I'm actually going to have all the tools you're going to need in the description below, along with the part numbers for the gas tank and the gauges. So let's get started. Because of how custom the Petcock is going to be on my Sportster, I'm not really going to go over that, but I was at least going to kind of show you how the Petcocks go into the gas tank. And the way it is that this nut right here actually has two sides. And so as you turn, they are actually pulling the two together, kind of like so. So the way it works is that after you slide the filter onto the Petcock, you're actually going to be turning it on the Petcock counterclockwise to get it started one or two turns. Once it's kind of on there a little bit, put it into the gas tank and then keep turning it clockwise, which will turn it into here. But as you're holding the Petcock, you're actually going to be turning it counterclockwise, and it's going to kind of close the gap as so. So as you see, I've turned it and it's kind of closed the gap in order to get it into the actual gas tank. So I just wanted to kind of show you all that just in case you're wondering how the Petcocks go in the gas tank. I do believe that you're supposed to put some type of sealer on the threads to kind of, seal it and everything. And some may have a nylon washer that kind of holds it together to keep fuel from leaking out. So now let me show you kind of what you're going to do as far as putting it on the actual motorcycle. So as far as the back mount for your fuel tank is concerned, it doesn't really have a particular side. As you can see, there's no Allen or anything like that. And so it goes back here in the hole on the frame. And I'm just going to put this side in just like this. So on this side, you're actually going to put your washer. And then put your actual other side of your mount. And like I said before, there's no really way to kind of hold this side over here as you're tightening the other side. So you're just kind of going to tighten it by hand as much as you can. And then hopefully you can see right here where there's a little lip as far as whenever the gas tank slides on here, it's going to hopefully keep these two together and not loosen up. So as far as your front actual mount for your gas tank is concerned, I'm going to actually be using this front hole right here, but you got several different, mounting positions you can put it in, but I'm going to be using this front one. And so all you do is just slide it over the frame, and then with a bolt and the actual star washer, I'm going to put it in on this side like I did on the back. On this side, I'm actually going to put a star washer and the nut and kind of hand tighten it. And it's one of those that as I've tightened this up in the past, I've kind of figured out I don't need any spacers back here once everything's tightened up. But if there's a gap here, you may have to add spacers on the back side to kind of take up that gap so that this is real tight. So with a 13mm wrench on this side, I've got a 13mm socket attached to my torque wrench, and I'm going to torque this bolt to 108 inch-pounds. All right, now that it's torqued, you can see it's tight, so I know I don't need any spacers. Before we can actually put the gas tank on the bike, we need to put these grommets with these center spacers in there, and all you do is just kind of feed the grommet in to these holes up here in the front. So once you get the grommet in there, just like you see right here, take your center spacer right there and just kind of push it in to the center of it to hold your grommet in place. Just like so, which as I tighten it up, it'll go in just a little bit more. So once you have that one done, just do the same thing for the other side. So now that we have the grommets and that center spacer on the front of the gas tank, back here on the back, what I'm going to do is I got this brake grease that you put on your brake pads that you can get from any parts store or anything, and this isn't really required, but what it'll do is as I put this on here, it'll help this slide onto the actual, help the gas tank slide on here just a little bit easier. It's not required, but it'll help it out just a little bit. All right, now we're ready to set the tank on. And what we're going to do is these little hooks back here in the back, we're going to line up with our rear mount and put that and slide it on first. And just pull it down just like that. So the way the front works is you got this washer that's going to go on the back side between the rubber and your mount that's already on the frame. And then you got a washer with a bolt that's going to go through the front to mount everything, like I said, to the frame mount. So just kind of hold the washer in the back, put your bolt with the washer, and just barely start it, and then slide the tank down. And as you slide it down, it should find the bolt hole in your mount. You may have to move it up and down just a little bit, but just kind of start it a few turns, just kind of hold it there. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side before we tighten this side or that side. Like I said, I'm going to put our washer in between it. And it may be a little tight now that you got the other side kind of started, but I got it kind of in there. And then I got our washer with our bolt, and I'm going to put it in here and try to line everything up. Now that we kind of have both sides kind of started, what we're going to do is we're actually going to tighten both sides kind of evenly, you know, as you're tightening it up until we get to the 108 inch-pounds that we're going to torque it to. So as you can see, installing this aftermarket gas tank was not very hard. It took maybe 10-15 minutes at the most. It's one of those where now that you have it installed, you can actually put your crossover hose on there. That kind of helps even out the actual two sides of the gas tank. It's one of those, I'm going to kind of do that a little later after I get the Petcock taken care of and get it painted. But you can put your hose on there, and then you hook your vent up there in the back. Let me show you those three places. So right here, you take this cap off and it would go underneath the frame right there to the other side. And that's where you would actually put your crossover hose. And then back right there, you'd have to kind of grind that off just a little bit. And then you'd be able to put your vent hooked up right there. All right, now that we have the gas tank mounted, let's go ahead and start installing our gauges. So our mount for our gauges right here, you got two little slots right there that go into the gas tank when these two screw holes. And what they have is they've got a regular washer with a locking washer, and then the bolt. And all it does is it just kind of slides in just like this. And then you mount it to the gas tank. And then you have another one that goes on the other side. And I know my hand's in the way. And then with a 10 millimeter, just snug them up. And you're going to have to kind of play with how far up or down you want these depending on your application. But I need it all the way down so that I have the clearance up here even after I get the risers. So route all of your wires that you're going to be using on the actual gas tank in through the opening right here. So now we're going to terminate all the wires up here, and I'll go over all the different wire colors whenever we go to put it onto the gauges. But all you do is just strip the wire back just a little bit. And then kind of twist your wire once you strip it to kind of keep everything together. And then with your actual terminal that you're going to use, just slide it onto the wire. And then once you get it in there, just crimp it down. And you see, I use this one that's got kind of the alligator tooth just because it makes a better, stronger actual bond right there. So we're going to do the same thing for all our different wires. So as far as our wires are concerned, Your orange and white right there is going to be your 12 volts. Your black is going to be your negative. Your white is actually going to be your actual speed sensor. Your pink is going to be your tach. Your green and yellow is actually going to be your oil pressure switch, and your tan is going to be your neutral. This little thin white wire right here is actually going to be our indicator for our high beam as far as on the gauges is concerned. Now you may have different wires that's up here for your turn signals, but I'm not running any turn signals, and I'm going to temporarily put a switch for our tripometer, but that's going to be something that's just temporary. So mounting our actual gauge to the actual dash plate, I think I went over this in one of the previous videos. All I'm doing is I'm going to put it on the outside. So I'm just going to slide it just in like that. And then on the back side, I've got a piece of square aluminum that I'm going to slide here on the inside and line it up with our studs that are coming off our gauges. And then I've got two nuts that I'm actually going to be screwing onto the actual gauge that's going to kind of squeeze it together to our actual dash plate. So I've got it mounted just like that. So now let's plug our wires into the back of our gauges. And I don't know if the actual camera will pull it up, but there's actually indentions on the back of the gauge that actually tells you what is what. So for instance, right here in the bottom right is going to be actually the oil pressure. So we'll get our green and yellow wire and we'll plug it into our oil pressure location. And so that right there is just kind of what it's going to look like all across it. So because I know you're not going to be able to see everything as I plug it up, let me plug everything up and then I'll see if I can kind of still flip it over enough for you to see it. All right, so as you can see, I've got all the wires hooked up, and you know, like I said before, me trying to plug these up, I knew I was going to get in the way of the camera, so you weren't going to be able to see what it was. But I was kind of going to go over to where they were. Right here, you have your oil pressure switch, you have your neutral switch, you have your actual high beam light, then you have your ground, and then skip one, and then you have your 12 volts, and here on the top, you have your actual speed sensor, and then right next to your speed sensor is going to be your tach. Now down here on the bottom where the space is, and right here on top right next to your actual tach is where you're going to put your tripometer switch if you want to run one, which like I said, I want to temporarily run one. Next to your switch here on the top right here is actually going to be your turn signal cancellation, and then on this side your two on the top are going to be your left and right turn signals. And so as you can see, I also have my high beam low beam switch right here. And so all you do once you have all that hooked up is you just turn it over and trying to keep all your wires out of the way depending on how you want to route your wires. You just kind of line it up with the hole here on the center of the dash plate with the actual mount, the actual dash plate mount here on the back side. And then you got a bolt with a washer and you just tighten it up. And then there's your dash. It's one of those, like I said, kind of ignore the holes I've got because I haven't had a chance to drill out the new dash plate for the actual high beam low beam switch, but I've got a new one, you know, like I've showed you before. And as you get the new dash plate in here, I'll put your actual gasket right here. That'll make it look nice and kind of take up some of that gap that may be right there. But let me get the battery and the exhaust kind of hooked up and we'll see if it'll actually crank up for us. All right, you've heard the old saying, don't try this at home. Don't try this at home. wants to. All right, you saw it cranked. My oil pressure light went out and the tach seemed to be working. That's good enough for me. I mean, this isn't very safe, so that's the reason why I'm not really going to do it more than what I just did. All right, so as you can see, the gauges are working like they're supposed to. As you can tell, this is not a very hard install. I didn't really want to run it any longer than I did because, like I said, it's not very safe, you know, holding the gas like that. Who knows what could have happened if something would have, you know, dropped, or if, you know, it had backfired or anything like that. So I didn't really want to push my luck too much. But as you saw, the gas tank went on pretty easy. The gauges installed pretty easy. You know, it's a real simple install, and it didn't really take very long. You know, I think I started this about noon, and it's a little after 4, and I had to run back to town to get some oil because I didn't have any oil. But this is something that, you know, is easily done if you got a little bit of know-how of, you know, slight modification of things. But that's all I got for you. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below, and leave me a comment. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this, and if this is something that y'all want to do. Until the next video, see ya.